Good afternoon and welcome back to TechInnovation 2020. The next program will be the second series of crowd-pitching presentations on the theme Food and Nutrition. We have lined up 7 speakers from leading corporates who will pitch their food processing and packaging technologies to enterprise partners for commercialization opportunities in food and nutrition. Each speaker will be given 5 minutes to present. There will not be any Q&A following each presentation. Should you have any questions during the presentation, please type them on the Pigeonhole Q&A platform by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your screen or visiting our website at pigeonhole.at/techinno2. Alternatively, you may wish to visit their digital booth at techinnovation.com.sg. Without further ado, we'd like to introduce the first speaker, Mark Lim, Strategist and Legal Counsel of NamZ Private Limited.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Mark. I'm from NamZ. NamZ is a food tech incubation company. And what we do is we develop proprietary food technologies, which we either license to partners, or we introduce our own food products under our brand called What If Foods, to display the power of our technologies. So one of our technologies is called NoodleZ. I'm sure there are many fans of instant noodles right there, particularly in Asia. And in time of COVID, I think a lot of people are relying on noodles, to provide nutrition. So what we have done is we have developed food technology that really reinvents what an instant noodle looks like. Now, just a view on what the instant noodle industry is about. It's valued at about $44 billion with 6% CAGR, with over 100 billion portions consumed annually. And the issue we have with the instant noodle industry is that it's been stagnant for over 80 years since deep frying was first developed in Japan. And we think that it's ripe for destruction because people are more conscious of nutrition and sustainability. So what we believe is that no noodles out there fulfills both criteria of being tasty and nutritious. Conventional instant noodles are deep fried. Over 80% of the noodles out there in the market are deep fried, and that results in high fat with over, I think, 20 to 30% fat content due to the deep frying oil. And subsequently, there is a need for high sodium and MSG to mask the rancidity of the deep frying oil. So it's very unhealthy. Alternatively, you have air-dried noodles, which occupy about 20% of the market. And the problem with air-fried noodles is it really lacks the distinctive deep fried taste that people love about their instant noodles. And more importantly, it's also quite expensive to produce because it takes 10 times longer to manufacture air-dried noodles compared to deep-fried noodles. Our technology, however, results in a tastier, nutritious, and sustainable product. So how do we do this? We have developed a 3-stranded proprietary air-frying technology. The first step to this technology is that we have replaced the deep fryer with an air-fried process, and that eliminates the use of palm oil. More importantly, it fits the same production capacity and same production footprint of a conventional deep frying line. So we can be retrofitted into an existing line if necessary. The second strand is that we have reinvented the composition of noodles. Because our air frying technology is less harsh and uses lower temperatures compared to deep frying, we are able to incorporate nutrient-rich and colorful ingredients, all natural, directly into the dough, without degrading taste, color, and nutrition. So this opens up the possibilities in terms of a product development standpoint. And lastly, in order to recreate the deep fried taste that people love, we are incorporating a very small dose of proprietary ingredients made of natural oils and spices that go directly into the dough that doesn't result in less taste. So this allows us to create, as you can see, a portfolio of colorful products that uses various ingredients, and it leads to a healthier product compared to conventional deep fried noodles. So our noodles potentially can have 70% less fat because we eliminate the use of palm oil, twice the protein, and more fiber because we can incorporate other products or other ingredients like bambara groundnut to boost the nutrition, and it leads to a lower carb content. In a nutshell, our noodles is therefore lower in fat and sodium, high in protein and fiber, sustainably produced because we are replacing wheat with other more sustainably and eco-friendlier ingredients, no compromises in taste and texture, and the same 3 to 5 minutes to cook. our model has three strands to it. The first is that we have licensed our technology to our first customer overseas. The patent that we have is about to be granted very hopefully in 2021. We are in very advanced stages of examination. And you can see this is a picture of our pilot line in Malaysia. We have also selling in Singapore in restaurants, for example, in Mien and other quick service restaurants. And lastly, we launched our B2C brand called Water Foods that's currently selling both on Amazon, RedMart, as well as in physical retail. If you go down to La Pasar or Takashimaya in Singapore, you will find us very soon. And our team is fairly well-rounded. Candy here in NamZ is in charge of research and development. Amelia is in charge of product development. And Vinod is in charge of factory operations in Malaysia. And Chris is in charge of business development. Chris is our CEO of NamZ. So thank you very much for your time. And I hope one day you get to try our noodles. And please keep in touch if anyone has any interest. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark, for that presentation. Moving on, we have from Republic Polytechnic, Dr. Chiradip Chatterjee.
Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Chiradip from School of Applied Sciences, Republic Polytechnic. Today, we'll share our research and some findings on optimization of aquatic feed with underutilized Okara. Before going to that, quickly share a little bit about Republic Polytechnic. We are at north of Singapore, established 2002. We have 7 schools and 3 centers with around 12,000 students currently with 1,000 staff. We offer full-time and part-time diplomas. We have few campuses, but Woodlands is our main campus. I'm from School of Applied Sciences. We have 6 full-time diplomas. Diploma in Pharmaceutical Science, I'm from. We have other like Marine Science, Biomedical Science, Biotechnology, etc. there. So currently in fish or aquatic feed formulation, almost 70 to 80% cost of the whole aquaculture goes on feed. And the major part of the feed actually, almost 50% goes to fish meal. And as you all know, current global scenario, that fish meal is very expensive as well as quite unsustainable because mostly actually is the raw fish they dried and used as fish meal. So for a sustainable aquaculture, need a non-traditional feed ingredient as well as some innovative formulation strategies. In that context, we came to the soybean residue, which is Okara. Okara is a byproduct of soybean, mostly for tofu production. It's quite rich in protein, rich in fiber, and almost zero cost. Because currently Okara actually is no use, mostly used for either landfill or in biomass production. About 30 tons actually currently discarded daily in Singapore only. And soy is a quite potential alternative source for a feed to replace fish meal. Actually, we can also blend this Okara with other alternative protein sources such as insect protein to make it more nutritious for fish or aquatic element. So Okara-based aquatic feed actually low to zero fish meal content. We try, but definitely zero fish meal may be tough, which is also low cost, sustainable. And our current target fish species, we are either working or thinking of work together with other industry partner is abalone, which is a high-end seafood, as well as shrimp. And some of the herbivorous food fish like tilapia and others. So currently in Republic Polytechnic, we started from feed formulation design, lab scale feed preparation. Then we do to feed quality testing, physiochemical stability, as well as feeding trial. We have a aquaculture center, Republic Polytechnic, almost 200 square meter, good for small scale feed trial. So the current technology offer, last 1 year, we are working on abalone feed formulation. Abalone is a very high demand aquatic seafood species, and almost 40% gap between supply and demand, and very high end costly in current market value. So in Republic Polytechnic, we have developed a novel abalone feed, which is Okara based, mostly fish meal free. And current abalone based RP developed abalone feed versus commercial feed, if you compare, we are getting more feed acceptance. We are running almost last 1 year feed trial in Republic Polytechnic aquaculture facility. We achieved better growth performance, quite intense cell pigmentation, and also our feed is quite low cost compared to the commercial feed. You can see like I have represented 4 feeds are here, and the lowest costing we achieved almost 36% low cost than the commercial feed. But on this low-cost feed, if you see right-hand side of my presentation, we achieved higher percentage weight, higher percentage length increase. This is across the few trials we are running in RP for last few months, and try and make a small scale abalone feed culture. So currently we have almost we got 4 feeds who are actually giving us better percent weight, percent length increase compared to the commercial feed used by abalone farms. And the costing also from 10 to 30% less we achieved. And you can see the currently pictured in the abalone eating our RP developed feed in Republic Polytechnic Aquaculture Center. So currently our lab scale validation is done. So we are trying to get industry partner for field trial for abalone feed in an operation environment, as well as we are looking for R&D collaboration and co-development of other aquatic feeds, mostly fish or shrimp feed. And that's it for my presentation. And we have contact us. If you are interested, please contact us at Help OTD. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chiradip. Next, we have Erlend Sild from BugBox Limited.
Hello. Hi, I'm Erlend from BugBox, and we develop fully automated farming technology and software for the edible insect industry. Yes. We started in 2015 with an idea to produce alternative protein from insects in a larger scale. Soon we realized that there is actually no scalable technology available, and we changed our focus. We dedicated ourselves to develop an innovative and effective solution. Now we can say that our unique technology allows to produce high quality ecological and sustainable protein powder in large quantities for feed and food. Our business model is to sell or franchise technology as a farming and production factory. And we also charge monthly for the use of software, which makes this solution accessible for everyone. Market of insect powder products is growing rapidly, and demand for controlled ingredient is high. Edible insects are one of the most efficient alternatives for fish feed, animal feed, and also for human consumption. Insect farming is also much more ecological and sustainable compared to common farming methods. Our in-house developed software is pre-programmed. It takes into account the knowledge gained over the years about the insect breeding and its various capabilities. Software is self-learning and uses artificial intelligence to make better suggestions and decisions, which are based on the historical data that we gather from all our farms. The key of scalability is not being a smart entomologist, but a great entrepreneur. That's a key differentiator and helps our clients to be the most efficient insect breeders in the world and allows anyone to become successful businessmen in the insect industry. Our solution measures and controls everything, from the consistency of the green organic feed, environment of the rearing, weight, temperature, humidity, and etc., up to the quality and consistency of the received insect biomass as a final product. Our technology produces zero waste and follows the circular economy principles. It uses the green residues from local green product industries as a source, and it's powered by renewable energy. All product leftovers can be used as organic fertilizer. We have a list of more than 10 clients who have placed pre-orders for our solution for next years. To be able to deliver, we need to finish our developments and establish a technology production plan. Therefore, we are looking for an investment, 900K, to be ready to deliver the first insect farms in 2021. We are very interested, of course, in Asia markets. We are looking for strategic partners and contacts in Asia for further development. Moreover, we look for partners who would franchise our technology and software and would also distribute ideas about effective and sustainable production possibilities. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Erlend. We would like to remind everyone to type any questions you may have about the presentations thus far on our Pigeonhole Q&A platform by scanning the QR code at the top right corner of your screen or visiting pigeonhole.at/techinno2. Our next presenter is Amane Kimura from Algal Bio Company Limited.
Hello, Algae and Plants for the Earth. Algal Bio is a biotech startup based out of Japan, and we strive to cultivate algae's potential for a better future. If this rings your bell, we would welcome you to join our journey. My name is Amane Kimura, and I am CEO of the company. Our mission, cultivating algae's potential for a better future, does describe who we want to be. We partner with industrial leaders to jointly pave the way for a better future by delivering algae-based sustainable solutions that empower our partners' business. Our unique capabilities, built upon more than 20 years of scientific research at the University of Tokyo, which is the top university in Japan, enable us to provide holistic algae-based solutions, identifying the best package of unique strains and optimized cultivation know-how. In another word, we can deliver a microalgae-based biotechnology for our partners to produce whatever target component or product from microalgae. So why are we doing this? The issues we are addressing by our algae-based biotechnology are following. First and foremost, wellness is the issue we are addressing at our company. As our expected lifetime has been extending, often referred as the 100-year life, wellness or well-being has become one of the key metrics to our lives. In the meantime, countries like ours, Japan, has been facing challenging dilemma with social security system due to aging population. We are confident that our continuous effort around evidence-based algae-derived functional ingredients for nutraceuticals and beauty personal care products could play an important role to this issue. Secondly, food crisis. As I was a part of emerging plant-based protein trends by being one of the early investors in a meat alternative startup, Beyond Meat, before joining Algal Bio, I strongly believe that our conventional food supply chain is not sustainable enough to feed increasing population with changing diets. It will be crucial to provide more sustainable options to this industry. And that's where we could play an important role with algae-based biotechnology. Lastly but not least, algae-based biotechnology could play an important role in circular economy too, as we have several ongoing joint development projects with Japanese universities. We continue to invest in this field. For instance, one of those projects has shown an interesting results for algae-based biomaterials, which could replace petrochemical-derived materials. Thus, our playing field is very broad and large. But next question you might be asking us would be, what can you do? What is your strength in order to play an important role in these fields? So this photo represents what we can do. We call this Nanairo chlorella, which is 7 colors chlorella in Japanese. These different colors represent different carotenoids accumulated in microalgae. For example, yellow color represents accumulation of carotenoids such as lutein. Red color represents accumulation of astaxanthin. With our unique strains and unique cultivation techniques, we can find a way to produce specific carotenoids or other target components from microalgae. So how do we do this? What differentiates us? Our joint development project with customers always start with screening our unique algae strain library to find the best microalgae strain that accumulates target components. Then we optimize our cultivation conditions to maximize productivity of such target component. If necessary, we use our non-GMO breeding technology to mutate microalgae strain, and we can produce sample products with our small-scale pilot facility in Japan. These are the examples of what we do as our joint R&D project with our industry partners. Naturally derived color for food application, antioxidant functional ingredients for nutraceuticals, functional ingredients for beauty personal care products. If this rings your bell, if you're interested in developing microalgae-based products, be a partner with us and be a solution for a better future. Let's make a move with us by cultivating algae's potential for a better future. Thank you very much.
Arigatou gozaimasu, Amane-san. Next, we move on to Dr. Patel Kadamb, Haribhai from Temasek Polytechnic.
Hi, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Kadamb Patel. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Kadamb Patel. I'm from Temasek Polytechnic. We are looking at the food supply in Singapore, and Singapore predominantly depends on the import of the food, including meat. I'll be surprised to see that the per capita consumption of meat is almost 66 kilo. And there are multiple importers, and 24,000 new import permit was issued. What we are looking at is the number of inspection done throughout the year and the number of tests done for to see the authenticity or the quality of the meat. Food authenticity is a big problem. Identifying the meat authenticity in the meat product is an important issue, not only for the regulation, but also for the ethnic reasons also. And the frequent replacement of the higher commercial value meat by the cheaper is almost everywhere. So we need a tools to design to find out, the adulteration of food. And there are many on and off. You will see in the newspaper around the world that many times the expensive meat is replaced by the common meat. One of the current ways of detecting the meat testing, the most commonly used methods are the immunoassays, which is antigen antibody reaction, PCR, which is the DNA base, and real-time PCR. Each and every assay which are currently being used has a certain limitation. All methods are monoplex. That means it can detect only one species of the meat at a single time. Immunoassays are not compatible because for the cooked food, the proteins get degraded out and you will not see the antigen antibody reaction at all. The PCR reads a post-PCR processing. The qPCR or the real-time PCR requires the TAC1 probes, which are really expensive, and it has a very short shelf life. To address the issue, we came up with the solution. We call a high resolution melting. It's one of the technique where after the PCR product is exposed to the higher temperature. And because the PCR product is a DNA and is a double helical structure, depending on the GC structure, there will be form of patterns. The PCR product is generated using the amplification, which is a normal one. Then we subject to the gradual temperature increase. And what happens is that we are also using the fluorescent dye, which has a very high affinity for the double-stranded DNA. So when we are exposing to the high temperature, this double bond breaks apart and the fluorescent also is going off. So through which these melting curves are produced. So detection of meat species, namely beef, pork, lamb, duck, and chicken, can be predetermined by looking at the particular melting temperature of the PCR product. One of the special features that our technology requires the primer designs, a multiplex PCR optimization of the melting temperature so that we can detect more than one product in one single tube. And it also, the innovation of the method is based on the pre-melting temperature, what we can use for each and every PCR product. So this is how the result will look like. So in a single tube, we can see the 5 different species of the meat, like a beef, which is melting at a 70-degree temperature. Pork is melting at a 74-degree temperature. Sheep 76.6, chicken 80, and duck 83.5. So this we achieve through the smart designing of a primer and optimization of the reagents what we use for PCR. Hence, we are able to come up with the assay which can do a multiplex things. The first 5 major meat species can be identified in a single tube or a single test without any requiring of the fluorescent probe, which are expensive. These tests are very specific and they are very accurate. We have not seen any false positive yet. The closed tube method, that means it avoids any cross-contamination from the other part. It's very simple and cost effective because it does not require any post-PCR processing or doesn't require at all the labels or a fluorescent probe. What are we looking for? We are looking for the industry partners to take it to the market, which can be used for the laboratories to use the detection of this thing. Or take an example, SFA is doing the regular testing for this one. Currently, they are using the single monoplex assay. We can replace it with a multiplex assay. So it's in the same, it saves time, money, energy, and it increases the productivity overall. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Patel. Our next presenter is Dr. Alessandro Romagnoli from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore.
All right. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Alessandro Romagnoli. I'm an associate professor at TU, the School of Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering. And today I want to walk you through this new concept of cool bottle, which is a new concept of bottles to deliver and provide the cold water on demand anywhere and anytime wherever there is a need for. So I mean, this new concept of cool bottle is targeted towards amateur and semi-professional athletes, but could also work for outdoor activities, which could be a stroll or a walk in the park. So when we look at the market and try to address who might need such type of bottle with extended cooling capacity and cooling capability, we found out from a survey that cyclists are very much in need of such sort of cooling, such a cooling system. Indeed, the average activity for cyclists is between 2 to 4 hours, and very often to stop by a shop when it comes, above all in Singapore in the hot environment, when it comes to try buy some bottle to refresh and rehydrate. So if you look at the availability of cool water or cold water, you will see that there is not much option for what it concerns, supply of cold water, because indeed, if you buy a plastic bottle, that will tend to warm up pretty fast. If you have a vacuum flask or some other solution, this might not be ergonomic and don't do the job pretty well. So what we came up with actually is a new concept, which we call it the ice nest technology. It's a cold thermal battery, and the way it works is like so. So first you can refill your bottle with using tap water. You don't have to put it in the fridge, indeed. Secondly, all that you need to do, you need to put your cold thermal battery inside the freezer where it gets charged, connected to the bottle, at the bottom. So this is just, to give an idea of how the bottle would work. And then eventually, you can release the cold whenever you need to cool down the water. So this concept comes with no electricity, no moving part, is easy to wash, it can last for thousands of cycles, and in a way it provides the liberty and freedom to have cold water anywhere and anytime. So when we compare and then we look at some of the technical specifications, the thermal battery is less than 50 grams. It can cool down 30 degrees water, half a liter, in less than 3 minutes. Indeed, it could be in 2 minutes for 500 milliliters. And this is basically what you will see. So if you see temperature versus time, you take a water bottle out of the fridge, the temperature eventually increase, and then that's it. With our cool bottle, we can basically refill with tap water at any point in time, whenever we want. We can basically discharge the cold thermal battery and cool down the water. So when we compare this against our competitors in the market, indeed, you will see that the only disadvantage, so-called, it might be some payload, that you need extra payload that you might to be carrying around. But I mean, for cyclists and some other activities, this has been deemed not like a major issue. So what is the total market available? I mean, again, we started to look, just focus on cycling and cyclists, those who are involved in active cycling. The numbers are quite impressive. We are talking about several millions of people involved in cycling, and in just more than 10 million in Asia Pacific. And then if you look at the total addressable market at SAM and TM, we sort of estimated that in Singapore alone, you could be roughly 40,000 people to target as a customer in terms of cyclists. And for those who we interview, we made a survey with more than 400 cyclists. Indeed, they were well happy to pay some extra more dollars to have the availability of cold water on demand anywhere and anytime. So what it concerns the team, I'm the principal investigator, and then I have a team of experts spanning from thermal energy storage, design and simulation and prototyping. And this project is very much a spin-off of the work that we do at NTU. And what we're looking for licensing agreement, go-to-market commercialization, business partnership, or co-investment to further develop this concept. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much, Alessandro. Our final presenter for this segment is from Diatrix Private Limited, She is Lam Yi Chi.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We are Dietrix, a spin-off from the Harvard and NTU, from NTU to commercialize the nanocellulose fibers that inhibit fat absorption. The company is founded by Prof. Philip, Prof. Lu, and Prof. Ng, and supported by Robin and Clarence for the business commercialization. So in today's world, busy consumers in urban areas find less time to cook at home and rely increasingly on fast food outlets and takeaway meals. So this has led to a situation whereby almost 800 million people are considered obese, leading to health issues such as diabetes, heart diseases, and certain cancers. So the health cost of unhealthy eating habits is estimated at around $2 trillion per year. So there are current mitigation solutions such as changing personal lifestyle to reduce fat intake and medical interventions such as the ingestion of pharmaceutical drugs to manage weight gain. However, these methods are hard to sustain in the long run, and some might result in side effects such as greasy stools. So what Dietrix can develop is a proprietary nature-derived cellulose nanofibers that's able to control fat digestions and also the absorptions, and hence reducing the bioavailability of fat. So we have filed a patent for this and conducted in vitro and in vivo studies to prove the efficacy and also to show that this material has little acute toxicity. So these are the three key value propositions of our technology. Firstly, it is white, tasteless, and a powder that does not alter the taste, smell, or color of the food product. And secondly, consumers do not have to make significant life changes. They are still able to enjoy the food that they like. Thirdly, these cellulose nanofibers can be produced from food byproduct and supporting the circular food economy. So these cellulose nanofibers will be used as a functional ingredient to be incorporated into different food products across different cultures. So for a start, we will be focusing on the application in dairy and confectionery products. So currently, we are excited to get more partners on board the commercialization journey. So we are looking for pilot partners in the food industries who is looking for novel functional ingredients. And at the same time, we are also looking for seed investments for further scale up. So if you're interested to find out more about our technology, do drop us an email at enquiry@dietrix.sg, and we'll be happy to share more about our things. Thank you.
Come to the end of the second crowd pitching session of the day for food and nutrition. Thank you to all our speakers and to all attending this webinar for your active participation today.